Excellent. Well, good evening, everybody. My name is David Sandoval. I am one of the founders of an incredible community, a movement, an organization, and yes, a company that we call Purium. And Purium is, in case you don't know it, I say it every week here, it's a made up word. It's a word that I made up, and it's a combination of two words. It's a mashup, if you would, of pure and premium. And pure and premium are descriptive words that are the words that I use to describe the quality of the food that we provide to the world, directly to your doorstep, directly from our manufacturing, and directly from our farms. And so this word purium, pure and premium, it's a descriptive not only of the food that we eat, but it's descriptive of a life that we believe we're all entitled to. What I mean by that is we have a philosophy, and that philosophy is that the quality of the food that you eat will ultimately equal the quality of the life that you live. Now, if it sounds a little absurd, perhaps on the surface, then think about the fact that when a baby's born, as my children were, one was 4 pounds, one was 7, and one was 10. But each one of them, are growing. And the one who was 10 pounds is now 140, 150 pounds. And so where did those other 130 to 140 pounds come from? What were they made out of? You see, because every cell in your body, every tissue, every part of your brain and your heart and your eyes, yes, all of those things, your taste buds, all of these things were actually created from material that was taken from the food you ate. That's right. The raw material for the building blocks of your body were taken from the food you eat. And if the quality of that food was very low, okay, if it was a poor quality diet, that means the raw material that you're built out of was poor quality. Now, that's the bad news. The good news is that all of your cells are constantly regenerating and rejuvenating. And every 7 years, you could virtually replace your cellular matter. Okay. And so you can become a new person, if you would, every 7 years, they say. So if that is true, when are you going to start? When are you going to start that 7 years of putting pure, raw, organic superfoods into your body's matrix to be the building block of your future self? Can you see your future self and what you will be based upon what you put into your mouth? Well, we believe that you can. And today, while that is why our company exists, we go far beyond that. We believe our responsibilities go way beyond just to ourselves and our generation, but we believe that our responsibilities go to our neighbors and to future generations. And because of that, we want to talk tonight about something we are extremely proud of, something we believe we are extremely unique. We don't believe another company is anything like us in this way. And there's a lot of companies getting a lot of credit and in a lot of ways, and I appreciate them and I love them and I honor them. But I just want to tell you why you should be proud, okay, of Purium and what we call our carbon food print. Now, you've heard of a carbon footprint. And a carbon footprint is that thing that describes the amount of carbon, the amount of fossil fuels, the amount of, let's say, pollution, if you want to say that, greenhouse gases, if you want to be more descriptive, whether you believe in, climate change or not. We know we don't like pollution. So your contribution to polluting the environment based upon the amount of food you eat is what we call a carbon food print. Okay, that part of your carbon footprint that is specifically related to the food that you eat. And this is a powerful story. It really is. And I want you to just bear with me while I talk first about the food and then the packaging and then the delivery. And I want to contrast it with the way that most people get their food. Now, when I lived in Scandinavia, when I spent time in Europe, I noticed that the locals had very small refrigerators and very small dishwashers. And I thought that must be because they have small houses. But no, it wasn't. It was because they oftentimes shop for a lot of the food they're going to eat on the daily basis, on a daily basis. And they do so by walking. They walk down into the markets, they walk down into the streets, they walk to the butcher, they walk to the grocer, they walk to the farmer's market, and they bring foods home, oftentimes in a basket or a tray or a roller, something like that. But the bottom line is that our culture is a little bit different, and the way that we distribute food is a little bit less decentralized. And so let me describe the way that food gets to your grocery store and how much carbon is used to get it to you. And we all have big refrigerators, okay? And that's just the truth. And we have big dishwashers too, but that's okay. That has nothing to do with the story. I just noticed they had tiny refrigerators. Well, here's the thing. If you were to, let's say we'll take carrots as an example. If you back up a truck to a field of carrots, you'll see that those carrots are going to be put into boxes, and they're going to be washed, and they're going to be put onto a refrigerated truck, and they're going to be transported to a food distribution center. Now, for 1 acre of carrots, it's going to take more than one truck, several trucks. And for several acres of carrots, it's going to take a dozen trucks or more, each one of them burning fossil fuel and diesel. Now, they're going to take it to a food distribution center. And remember that not all the carrots are necessarily harvested, but that's okay. When they take it to the food distribution center is when the real separation begins. The carrots that don't make the grade are kicked aside. They're either misshapen, they're not big enough, or perhaps they're not quite ripe enough. But for whatever reason, these carrots are kicked out, and you lose about 10% of your carrots at that point. Those carrots are then transported to individual grocery stores. And this takes, again, dozens and dozens of trucks. And those trucks transport not just carrots, but other vegetables to the grocery stores. And once they're at the grocery store, they're kept in a refrigerated section, little water spraying on them. And all of these things are using carbon. All of these things take energy. The trucks that take it to the grocery store, the trucks that took it from the field, the little refrigerated, grocery stores, the refrigerated section in the grocery store, the little water that spritzes into it. And don't forget, you're more than likely going to get into a vehicle that uses gas or electricity or energy, and you're going to go to the store to pick it up. And then you're going to bring it back, and you're going to put it into your refrigerator, okay? That's using electricity as well, of course. And so your car and your refrigerator are part of that food print. When you ultimately eat that carrot, it took the energy. Now, you might cook that carrot, then it's going to take even more energy as you cook it. Now, here's another tragedy. The grocer only sells about 50% of the 90% that was used, okay? So now we're down to 45% of the food that was taken out of that field is being sold by the grocer. A sadder part is that even though we buy vegetables with great intentions, we don't always eat them. And anybody who's ever gone and thrown away wilted carrots, wilted lettuce, whatever it might be, okay, moldy blueberries, whatever it might be. And don't tell me about all the plastic that's used in the packaging of these fruits and vegetables as well, because that's part of the carbon food print as well. And so by the time all of that stuff is considered, okay, less than 10% of the nutrients that came from that field are ever consumed. And that means all of the energy that was used for 100% of the harvest has to be attributed to the 10% that was ultimately consumed and nourishing your bodies. And that is a pretty heavy carbon food print to pay. And even though I used a fresh vegetable as an example, that's true for food across the supply line. Now, I want to contrast that. I want to contrast that with Purium, where we harvest our things in the field, we wash them, and we juice or extract them at that time, meaning 100% of the harvest. 100% of the harvest is actually converted. And let's be fair, we have 1%, maybe 2% loss. So let's say 98% of what was grown in that field is ultimately converted to a plant powder. And that's done, remember, at room temperature, at low temperature, very quickly, in a very unique dehydration method that preserves the qualities of the enzymes and the nutrients and the proteins in a way that no other dehydration technique has ever been able to achieve. And through that magical dehydration technique, we now have stable, organic, field ripened, nutrient dense foods that are stable for 2 to 3 years, 6 months at the least, but up to 2 to 3 years. Now, think about that for food storage. Think about that for food sovereignty. Think about that for food security. Think about that if you're a prepper, that you could get your protein, your fruits, your vegetables, your fats, all from food, all from organic whole food, and it could be shelf stable for years. Think about the money that you can invest in your future and the security that will create. Now, one more important thing to note. At Purium, we then transport, instead of 12 or 20 trucks, on a single truck. Remember this drum that I'm going to beat, on a single truck. And we take it to our warehouse, where we blend it with other vegetables, just like they did, remember, at their warehouse, they put a bunch of other vegetables on a truck and send it to the grocery store. Well, we mix a bunch of vegetables and fruits and we send it to you. We skip all the middleman. And all of those cars going to the grocery store are replaced by one UPS or FedEx or USPS truck with hundreds of packages stopping every single block to deliver another package. So the carbon food print, okay, reducing all of those trucks that it was transported from the fields to the warehouse, reducing all of those trucks where it was transported from the warehouse to the grocery stores, reducing all of those cars that transport food from the grocery store to their homes, reducing all of the carbon of the refrigerator and the stove. And remember, not for 10% of what came to the field, for 90 to 98% of what came from the field. And with Purium's return policy, we know that if people don't like it, if they don't eat it, they shouldn't have to pay for it. And our returns are under 3%. So let's add that to our waste. And now our total waste, okay, is again 95% usage, less than 5% waste across, okay, across the board, versus 90% waste across the board in the traditional food delivery system. But we're not done yet. all of that packaging, all of that plastic that all of those fruits and vegetables, maybe you bring your own bags, but a lot of people use the little bags provided at the grocery store. Other times it's already packaged in plastic and you have no choice. If you want fresh fruits and vegetables, you are buying plastic. Well, not with Purium. With Purium, we have championed biodegradable plant-based packaging that is so safe, you could use it and then use it for soil in your garden. And it's a positive soil amendment, zero toxicity. So our packaging is also, again, you have to follow me here. Our previous packaging, everybody get their arms around this. Our previous packaging were those big plastic tubs. And when they're shipped to us, they're empty. And you could fit about 24 of those big plastic tubs in a box. And if you stack 3 of those boxes, it's about the size of a refrigerator. So that means you get about 100 bottles, 120 bottles in the size of a refrigerator. So imagine you need 12,000, okay, 12,000 bottles, or 30,000 as we need a month, okay? Well, that is going to take, that's right, that's going to take multiple large trucks transporting empty bottles and burning carbon. Now, you know that when your bag is empty, it lays pretty flat, right? Like a piece of paper. And when our bags are delivered empty, they are stacked inside of a box so flat that 30,000 bags could easily fit on one small truck, using far less cardboard, far less shrink wrap, far less carbon, far less energy. And don't forget how much time it takes for that man on the forklift to empty 12 trucks and how much fuel is used by the forklift as well. So reducing that is massive. So if you look across the way that our food is harvested, processed, delivered, okay, how it's packaged and how it's consumed, you are looking at the most efficient delivery system of quality food in the history of this planet by far. The only thing that is potentially more efficient is your backyard garden, if you can, and preserve, dehydrate, okay, and possibly even freeze dry, okay, because otherwise, your food, everybody who's grown tomatoes knows you can't even give them away faster than you could eat them. Okay, so unless you're making tomato sauce, pasta sauce, salsa, ketchup, or some other byproduct of tomatoes, then they're going to go to waste. So our method is even more efficient than our backyard garden in that way. Okay, in that way, because we use 100%. So, by the way, we are having an Earth Day camp out, picnic, celebration where I'm going to be teaching permaculture. We're going to be showing you how to do hugelkulture. We're going to be showing how to do wild crafting, wild harvesting, how to plant, how to do seedlings. And it's all going to happen at the Native Spring. And you're invited here to see what it looks like to have food sovereignty, to create food security, to get your hands in the soil and grow your own food, because that's what Purium is all about. We do that for you. And we want you to do it for yourself as well. So at Purium, the carbon footprint is so critical. Now imagine that you're replacing, as so many people have, 1 to 2 meals a day. You went from 4 meals to 2, or from 3 meals to 1. Who knows? Maybe 3 meals to 2. But for every meal you replace, you're reducing. If you had 4 meals and now you're having 3, well, you've just reduced your carbon footprint probably by 75%. If you're having 4 meals and now you're having 2, you may have just reduced your carbon footprint by 50%. if you let me teach you how to grow food in your backyard, okay, in your balcony, in your window, you might be able to reduce your carbon footprint even further. If you join a food co-op, you might be able to reduce your carbon footprint even further. Purium isn't the only way. We just want to lead the way. And if you could lead us, we will stand back and follow. Okay, so if you guys are picking up what I'm putting down tonight, I want you to give me some love in the comments so I know that you feel the Purium mission, okay? Because this is what it's all about for us. And I want you to share this call. I'm not sure how to do it, but I'm sure one of our tech people will let us know where this call and the replay line could be found and possibly shared, because we have to be solutionaries. We have to be solutionaries. A solutionary is a visionary who doesn't just sit around with pipe dreams and talk about what could be. A solutionary comes up with the solution and becomes the future. Now, I read today that in life, okay, all life is energy. All life is energy. And I want to ask you, how much of your life force, how much of your life force are you using in the best way? And I want to invite you to do that. I want you to know that you are powerful. You are energy, that you can move mountains. Okay. And so that conductivity that comes from Purium, all of these minerals that come from the earth that allow you to vibrate and to move energy through your body, this conductivity that is so important, is something that I am passionate about. And when you take off your shoes and get your feet into the soil, it's called earthing. And it has been proven that radiation, okay, radiation and ionic exchanges take place where radiation is pulled from your body. Negative energies can be pulled from your body. Destructive forces can be pulled from your body. The earth could heal you, not just from the food you eat, but from the bottom of your feet. Okay, somebody put that on a meme. When you stand in the earth and you connect the minerals that go into your body through your mouth with the minerals that are in the earth and see that conductivity happen. That's why lightning could strike you, and if you're barefoot, it will go straight back into the earth. But if you're blocking that energy with shoes, it could kill you. So blessings to all of you. Thanks for joining me tonight. I don't know how much time we took. Looks like I am just about at 30 minutes. So I hope that you enjoyed this conversation. I hope that you'll join me at our Earth Day celebration. And I hope that you'll continue to see how you can contribute to reducing your carbon footprint, and not just doing less, but contributing more. Subtraction by addition, okay, and addition by subtraction are magical ways to create compounded energy. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for all the love. And thank you for what we do. Okay. Thank you for what we do, because we could not do it if we weren't together. So together, better together. Okay. That's what we say. We are better together. So thank you, everybody. Many blessings. And I look forward to seeing you here on Earth Day. Thank you, Katie, for tonight's call. Leave it up so people could read those comments if they like. And we look forward to seeing you all again next week, right here on Products and Passion. Thanks again.